That's Santa Gold. And when James and Nicky from the Manics were sitting in for Iggy Pop, that was one of the records you picked, guys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's just an amazing record. A truly original. Just sounds like nothing. Every time I put it on, it just does something to me.
You picked some good tunes. I expect nothing less. But yeah, from, ABBA, Glenn Campbell, Anna Meredith, and of course The Fall. You put a couple of Fall tunes in.
Yeah, I was quite suspicious that perhaps they'd used a Peel session of Gut the Quantifier.
Were you? Really?
Rather than the album version. Can somebody check that up for me, please?
Were you listening to it going, hang on?
I did, yeah. The drums weren't as I remembered.
That snore's a bit glassy, isn't it?
Was Marky Smith someone who was an inspiration in some way?
Just in terms of just making up his own language. Just like, it was him and Sean Ryder, two of the only people who have done it in pop music.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're right there.
And just the way he looked. I think he was really handsome, in a funny kind of way.
In the early days.
Yeah,
he managed to pull bricks.
And that was his best period because he really smartened up then, and those lovely leather coats and stuff.
Some interesting knitwear, I think.
That's my favourite fall period.
This Nation Saving Grace is just an amazing
the nearly
record.
pop star period.
The nearly pop.
So how are you, chaps, anyway?
We're on a roll.
You are, aren't you? You are.
We're finally on a roll 4 years later.
Is this a great time though in the cycle when the record's done? It's ready to come out. Got the gigs booked in. You're just building up. Is it a time of great excitement?
It is when you're hearing yourself on the radio all the time and you think things are going pretty well. It does, because there's a mixture of obviously absolute fear and excitement. But
is there still fear?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Because we realise, when we've just been at the record company, we realise when we go there now, it seems like, it's Francis Rossi's walking. Not the old as you, I'm comfortable with that, but...
Slim Plymouth sent this tweet, and I know exactly what he means, and I think you will too, but he says this. This isn't really a question, but the Manic Street Preachers' music right now is far better than it has any right to be after this long. Yeah. We still love you. Do you know what he means?
Kind of, I do. It's because we are unbelievably dedicated to the cause of Manic Street Preachers, to the detriment of other parts of our life at times. But if it doesn't give us that tingle and that feeling of just that we're still doing something exciting and relevant, we know then it's going to be a bad record. And at the moment, we've got the tingle.
Yeah.
Great. But it's a great record.
Would you work on lots and lots of songs, or would you pick the songs and structure an album and concentrate on those?
I think we had run about a list of about 19 or 20 songs, and it became quickly obvious that kind of run about 12 of them were just the album. It just became quite obvious.
And James, would you start making music independently of getting words? I know there is some fluidity in the roles. Nicky does a bit of singing, James has written some words, but I mean, generally, would you start writing songs without words, waiting for the lyrics, or would you wait for lyrics from Nicky before you do anything?
Just about never. I always wait for words.
Right.
I need words. Yeah. I need words in front of me, just because I know I'm singing somebody else's lyric, and I need to know that the lyrics have inspired the music. I'd say that's 99% of the time that's been the case.
And sorry, Stuart, I'll let you back in a minute, but Nicky, would you ever hear something when you've sent him words and he plays you the song and you think sometimes, I never thought of it sounding like that?
Most of the time. I mean, with International Blue, the funny thing with that was the day before he'd come in and he'd done this song, which sounded slightly like Boys of Summer, but I absolutely loved it. Then I had to go away. And I came back, and then him and Sean had totally rewritten it. James had done it, and they've said, "Can you put a bass on this?" Which I couldn't because I didn't even know the notes. But he dumped the Don Henley version and come up with something which really made the album come together.
Well,
it's the track that knitted it together.
I think the hardest thing is when I get a lyric off him, and and he says, "I'd like this to be like something it could have been on Ocean Rain," and it's just like, "Oh, thanks for that."
Thanks. Yeah. I wanted to ask you. I'm going to ask you some more about you said about the process of choosing the tracks and stuff like that, because the new album does feel like it's got a kind of theme. But now it's in the perfect moment to play this. Was this a bit like the famous moment with Design for Life? When you got this together, did you think, we've got a hit here, boys, with International Blue?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it was a strange thing because International Blue was pretty much the penultimate song to be written for the record.
Wow.
And it was kind of written the lyric was I think it was just more of a personal poem for Nick himself, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think he really intended it to become a Manics lyric. And when it just came together one night where he decided that the Don Henley version was not very good, it just came together. It just really came together because we'd been to Nice. We were just about to go to Nice, and sorry, I'm getting this the wrong way around now. No, but it came together in one. That's why, because we recorded the song, and then within 6 weeks we were in Nice doing the video. It was between writing and the video, there was no time at all.
Yeah, now it's a perfect point to hear.
Sounds like a great opener. Sounds like some number one in the set, and it just sounds like, come on, bang, there we go.
I can visualize the video behind us, the opening intro, and you're like, boosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, I play the first note wrong or something like that.
I'll tell you a story when I say about how I was when I was a Radio 1 producer and I was producing Bon Jovi live in concert at Milton Keynes.
Oh, no. I'd like to say thank you to the Maniac Street Preachers. Because we were driving back in a Renault Espace or something after the gig, and we were listening to it, and because it was on the radio, and then I'd like to say thank you to, Little Angels, Billy Idol, and the Maniac Street Preachers.
But also, Alec John Such, who was the bass player at that time, played the first song in the wrong key and had to come in the truck and DI his bass and do it again while the rest of them waited in a helicopter. There you go.
Nothing like that is going to happen to the Manic Street Preachers when they play this International Blue.
Fantastic. We were thinking, guys, you talk about a video behind you for the opening of the shows with that. Would there be any part that would be available for me and Stuart to do a naked Eve Klein action painting during that? That would look good on a big screen, I feel.
I think the originals might look a bit better.
Yeah. Now, you said you pick these records. You pick records for an album, and you don't make concept records or anything like it, but all your records, all your albums always have, it seems to be, as kind of maybe a prevailing mood, a prevailing aesthetic.
We have the hint of a concept, definitely.
Yeah, well,
definitely.
But it's not about it's not about somebody going to Elfland in search of a crystal egg or anything like that. You know what I mean? But this seems to me to have a kind of a mood, a sort of mood. Well, what would you say it has, and what would you call it?
I think the key, there's a Phil Ox quote, in such ugly times, the only true protest is beauty.
Yeah.
And that is actually how I felt writing a lot of these words, that it's way too insane and confusing a time to really dig deep into certain issues. And I just wanted to, there's a lot of inspiration on the record, a lot of things that have kind of illuminated our lives, which we were trying to transfer to the public, be it Eve Klein, or be it just a general Vivian May, a photograph by Vivian May and stuff like that, which has always been a bit of a manic trait, but there's a lot more of it on this record.
Yeah.
There's a Hillsborough song on the record as well.
Well, it's just it's a song inspired by the city of Liverpool itself. It was just a magical day when we played there on the Everything Must Go tour, and I got up really early and walked around the city taking Polaroids. It was a balmy day, and Liverpool does take on a kind of psychedelic feel in the sun, with the shimmering Mersey and the amazing buildings.
Yeah.
And I just went back to my room. I kind of wrote it all down. I didn't have a title at the time. As soon as I got it, and then we did an amazing gig that night. So the second half of the song is like, as the night falls around me, I see joy and devotion, which was about the gig itself.
Yeah,
and just that thing of resistance that those people did to resist the entire establishment of Britain and actually win, I think is just one of the greatest achievements.
Absolutely. And it's a kind of companion piece in a way, isn't it?
Yes.
A joyous companion piece to SYMM, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a song born out of victory as well, isn't it? Which just makes it the opposite of SYMM.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's why it feels really good to hear it. And you think, yes, this is the happy, well, not happy ending, but a slightly victorious ending.
Yeah, one fought for, by people perhaps only from Liverpool that could have happened, because the city is just so full of that much pride and resistance, and I just wanted to make it sound like the Bunny Men.
Do you ever think...
It features a Nicky Wire guitar solo as well.
It does.
Wow. Does it? Wow. Okay, I'm going to go back. Do you ever think...
First take, Nick.
Yeah, James is struggling to play it in rehearsals. I keep telling him he needs to get some more speed in his fingers.
Yeah. Without being too pompous or kind of holy about it, do you ever think, well, if we don't do this stuff, who will?
Yeah, I've always felt like that. You know, there's a gap, there's a void that only we seem to fill in the musical landscape of Britain.
Yeah.
It's kind of always been like that. It's a nice place to be honest. Lonely, but nice.
So, big shows coming up, including one we'll be talking about in a moment in Belfast. But, looking forward to these, you must be.
Yeah, we should pop in when we got a day off in Manchester.
Oh, please do.
Can't we actually come and see you for once?
That'd be
I was going to say...
I'll bring that book that got lost in the post.
Do you know what I was going to say to you? It's like, I think I think I know the book you're on about, and I think it's your letter that's got lost in the post, because I wasn't sure who it was from. Anyway, that's by the by. So, which of the... So, you're going to... There seems to be highlights and loads of them. I mean, just looking at them, they all look fantastic, but...
with the choral as well.
Yes.
It's a great bill, actually.
It is a good bill, that, isn't it? Yeah. Someone sent in a question. Said,
I don't know why they've asked this, but it's interesting. It just says, I cannot wait to hear the Manics and see them in Belfast. I've seen them every time they've played here, says Ed. Would you ask them if you'd ever fancy going on Pointless or Mastermind? Now, why it ends like that, I don't know.
What would be a
specialist subject is an interesting question.
Oh, the subject matter is endless for my brain.
What would it... Yeah, you could... Well, there's a few things that leap to mind.
Darts.
Darts?
78 to 86.
The band or the sport?
Under the moon of love. Is that Shawaddy Dart?
That's Shawaddy.
Oh, damn, I knew I'd get it wrong. Daddy cool.
Daddy cool.
Boy from New York City.
Duke of Earl. Is that Dart?
Duke of Earl. Yeah, all classics all. They
were always on Tiswas. Darts.
They were.
Always. And Matchbox.
In fact, didn't the bloke from Darts go on to present Tiswas?
I think
that's
Den
Hegarty. Anyway, this is a slightly niche conversation.
I'll tell you what, Dave Ehringer, our record producer, is specialist subject on Mastermind, which links into what you were talking about before, will be Cadbury's chocolate.
Right.
Because he says that the genius of Cadbury's chocolate is that they have 100 different formulas, whether it be a flake or whether it be a twirl or a Cadbury creamed egg or a whole nut. They all have different variants of chocolate on them, including the crunchy. So that'd be a specialist subject.
The reason I mentioned you, Nick, is that I seem to remember that one time I was with you and you were having a right old go about the fact that Kraft had taken over. Do you remember? And you were saying, this is disgusting. What's going on to the chocolate now?
Twirls are a bit claggy, I have to say that, whereas a Ripple has a lot more air in them.
So a Ripple, you can still get a Ripple, can you?
And it's just a bit more air involved.
This is the man that walked into Wolverhampton Civic Hall dressing room once and had a massive hissy fit over the fact that there were lion bars there, and you went, look at this, it's just a poor man's picnic.
And also, Jimmy A has been on. So James was given his best French pronunciations on their Iggy slot last week. Can you ask if he ever finds his wife and mother-in-law talk about him in French so he doesn't know what they're saying?
I can absolutely unreservedly tell the truth all the time.
It's the raised eyebrow, the French raised eyebrow.
Tremendous stuff. Well, we should play another track. And say, on Belfast, we're going to be, if not before, I hope long before, we'll be seeing you in Belfast.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's great. No, we're thrilled to have you. It's fantastic.
It's always a great city to play. You know, right from the start. I said it before, but a famous gig we did in the Limelight. And we've done so many different venues, the Ulster Hall, the Waterfront. So we've always had great shows in Belfast.
Good. So now tell us about Distant Colours. Did you write the words to this one, James?
I did. I mean,
is there a union issue there, Nicky?
Yeah, demarcation dispute.
I mean, I know you, but you did a bit of singing. The last track on the album you sing, don't you, Nick?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
No, James, it goes
I know
back.
he does some before.
We've swapped.
I know.
We're such an awkward bunch, It's such a weird setup with us in terms of how we write songs and bass playing, lyricist and all that. So things do overlap.
What's Sean's role? Is he lukewarm water between in the Spinal Tap sense?
It's just the tumbling rapids sometimes. I think just basically what happened was it's kind of a long time back. I think it wasn't such a long time ago when I remember when Nick came up with Most of Your Love Alone Is Not Enough. I think after a while he was just like, well, it's about time you wrote a lyric now, isn't it? I think the challenge was set kind of thing. And I think, it's hard to expect somebody to keep writing lyrics over the course of 13 records just on their own. If somebody can just come up with one lyric, it's just cool. But usually I give him the lyric and he takes the really bad lines out and puts the good ones in there.
So what's Distant Colours about?
It's kind of it's about a disenfranchisement from traditional beliefs that you may have held all your life. It's about kind of like things just becoming memories rather than reality. It's just about actually just living in this age and things just everything becoming a distant colour.
Right,
Whether
yeah.
it just be spurred on by a referendum vote or whether it just the oncoming digital hiss of hysteria. It's just about things just trying to hang on to memories more than reality.
Well, okay.
Excellent.
Well, we're going to hear it. We're going to hear it.
We look forward to seeing you in
see you-
Belfast. And if
Yeah.
you've got to either open with Daddy Cool by Darts
Yeah.
or International Blue, one or the
or
other.
SOS.
Or SOS.
It's always good to speak to you guys. See you very soon, I hope.
Yeah,
Okay.
thanks,
Cheers,
boys.
guys.
See
Thanks
ya.
a lot.
Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.